Welcome back. Well, Mr. John Oloyede joins us now. He's a legal practitioner and an analyst to take a look at what is playing out in the Senate. Thank you for coming on this.
Good morning.
Well, what do we know? This is another twist to the whole matter. There are different chapters now removed from Ribadu, the customs, who, by the way, will also come to. But this recent one, do you in any way think that, okay, what do you make of this one? This is the latest installment now of what's unfolding in the Senate.
Well, you'll just have to permit me to ask you, like the Commissioner of Police, Benue State, asked, which one is the recent one you are referring to? Which particular one? Is it the Dino Melaye problem? Is it Magu? Is it Ali? You know, there are so many recent things happening, and it's a controversy in Nigeria. So
can you look at anyone in isolation?
Well, of course, they are all complementary. So I'll take them one by one. Well, now the latest is the certificate saga of Dino Melaye. I cannot hold forth for him. I believe he's competent enough to speak for himself. But a recurring decimal in Nigeria these days is when you have a situation where there's a party in power, the party has a majority in the House, the party controls all the apparatus of government, but yet this party is acting in opposition against itself. I cannot explain why, for instance, Dino Melaye, who has been in the House, has been there for so many years. And the question is, when did it become apparent to them that he doesn't have the qualifications he proclaims to have? Why is it that it's always a game of fencing? When there's a problem against one person in government, then there's one problem.
And don't forget, Senator Ndume was also in the House of Reps.
Yes.
Dino Melaye was also in the House
Oh, they
of
were
Reps.
together there. And Ndume, of course, see the shouting match. Oh, you are a Boko Haram suspect and all that. You know, it speaks volumes about the caliber of people we have put there to make laws on our behalf. As you can see, no lawmaking is going on in the Senate or in the House of Reps.
So is this a personal vendetta being brought out to the open?
Oh, definitely it is. Let me give you another example. Colonel Ali, you have to put on your uniform. No, I'm not putting on my uniform. Then suddenly, there was something that happened in January, 11th of January. A car was discovered to have been imported by the Senate President. And nobody had anything about that until a few days ago, because Colonel Ali is on the hot seat in Senate. Now, why did it take so long for that issue to be thrown into public domain? If Saraki does not head Senate, or is not insisting, or his Senate, the Senate he presides over, is not insisting that Colonel Ali must wear uniform, would Colonel Ali and his people have ever allowed Nigerians to know that an infraction of the law has taken place? Since that time, if there's an infraction of the law, if there's been an underpayment, if the Nigerian government has been cheated out of revenue, that's a crime. There is fraud element disclosed.
But this is hypothesis.
No, it's not hypothesis. What they are saying, there's no need for you to now start asking for an explanation from the Senate President. If a Nigerian, a common Nigerian, had done that, would you have given him an opportunity other than to charge him to court? That there is an underpayment. Revenue is a very serious infraction. There's an underpayment. No proper duty has been paid on that car. Now, why have you taken so long to even allow us to hear about it? Until now, why is it that the person who is the culprit, I'm not personalizing it. I don't care whether it's the Senate President. I don't care who is involved. Yesterday, a governor's son hit somebody. Now, somebody was killed, a student. They say, oh, the governor's son killed somebody. Police is in control. By next week, the story will change. Oh, the person crossed a particular highway where you should not cross the road. That is always the problem. When it is the big men up there, there's always a leeway. There's always fair hearing. There's always an opportunity to go to court to get another of injunction to restrain the adversary, for the political parties to come in and say, oh, it's a family affair. We want to talk about it. The APC is already waiting in. The chairman said, oh, we're going to talk to all the party men involved. Here, Colonel Ali is being referred to as a party man, APC man. That's what this. Of course, you saw him in uniform, APC uniform. I'm not going to delve into the issue of, oh, whether it's right or wrong for him to wear uniform. People need to begin to appreciate the red herring and separate those from the life issues we have to contend with. One of the major problems we have is that there's a very serious issue. The customs man rightly has raised an issue of underpayments, that people have not been paying the right duties.
Well, which one is this one? The
Colonel Ali now. Colonel Ali.
Is it about the specific
policy,
case, or what brought
Is it
him
the
to the Senate in the
retrospective-
first one?
Yes.
The retrospective policy.
Yes. That's what brought him. The Senate wanted to ask him questions. Now, I believe that legitimately, the gentleman has raised a very wonderful issue that has been plaguing the revenue generation drive of the Nigerian government. People underpay all the time. Now, the question, rightly too, put by the Senate is, why do you want to throw that burden on the hapless Nigerian citizens who are driving cars 7 or so years old? Okay, come and explain to us. Now, this issue ordinarily should have involved the finance ministry. The Minister of Finance was not called. She's not talking. She's quiet about it.
Because it's a
Yes, the supervisory ministry. Good. Suddenly, the customs, the Controller General looms large. Is a big person. It's bigger than the Ministry of Finance. This is a finance matter. Now, both sides having legitimately raised very salient issues, I believe that issue should be trashed out instead of fighting over uniform or no uniform. My own question as a Nigerian is, I have bought a car. I've been driving this car for 2-3 years. I bought it from a dealer in a market overt, as we say in law. Market overt means regular course of business. I went there, bought at a normal price. It was not undervalued. I paid the right amount that you pay for such cars. Now, the dealer, the person who sold to me, was the importer. He is presumed to have paid the customs duty on that car. Now, you suddenly come up with this idea that, oh no, if you are driving, I can stop you, ask for your clearing papers, and I will deal with you. Now, how does that help me?
Okay.
The presumption of law in favor of the average Nigerian is now being debunked by a man who ought to act through a ministry. And nothing is being done about that. They are talking about uniform.